So we are looking that key if the variable has nested, we can say that if the variable has nested type of value, you can say that key there is an object. If the variable has an object type value and that object has still another object, so can we track any changes inside that property? So what we are finding key, if we are changing, it is not getting tracked, right? Let's see the example. So why it is happening, we can I will let you know. So for example, if I am changing uh, Delhi, I have changed D, so it did not get changed. But whenever I am doing change some here, so it is getting changed. Why it is getting changed? Because template is getting re-rendered and we have binded the value. We have binded the value here. So template is getting re-rendered and and I'm assuming that, but I will not give the exact reason here. So template is getting re-rendered again, and we have binded the value of that property with the input text value. That why it is getting reflected. This value on the next re-render. On the next re-render, it is getting displayed. But our requirement is to, when we change, let me remove the alert. It will give unnecessary alert. So our requirement, if we change the address here, so it should get changed, but it is not getting changed. As we earlier saw with the object value type, right? We are checking with the nested value type, right? So now what I am doing, making at the track. I also did not test this, right? But yeah, let's check this. So now it is getting changed also. So we can say that we have checked with nested property also. It is getting tracked, right? So generally generally what if you use JSON format, right? So generally we face this type of structure, right? We don't get many nested, you can say that many nested structure. So we can see that there is a trainer details which is taking of object type value, and inside the object there is also a property which is of object type, right? So one level we can see that it is getting tracked. So do you have to check another level? We can also check. How we can check? Let's see. uh, Inside address, I'm making some, what we can make. Let's example place details. Village, let make whatever name, Ghaziabad, right? So this I have made it one more level nested. So this is object type. Inside that object there is one object, and inside that object there is one more object, right? Are you able to right? Understood this structure?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now we check key what is happening. So now what I am doing, I have to bind place details, trainer details dot address, right? Address, then address as property, place details which is of object type, place details, and inside place details there is a property village. I have to bind here. Now I want to change in the input text and reassign the value of village of the place details. So let's see, address dot place details dot village. Sorry. So now here it is showing Ghaziabad. Oh, sorry. Here below here we have also change my city name is. So now my village, you can say that my village. By the way, Ghaziabad is not a village, but yeah, just for example. So here my village name is Ghaziabad, right? Now I am changing it to, for example, uh, Nawada. So it is not getting changed. So now make it track. Sorry. Now we can see that it is getting changed. So we tested with, I can say that two level nested. So, so we can say that we don't face more nested structure, right? We cannot face more nested structure, whatever we have tried here. So I think we are now clear with the track, right? Without track, we are able to find it. It is not getting changed. It is not getting reflected because LWC engine is not able to track the changes inside the. You can say that if you are changing the object, you can say that object type value, right? Inside the object, and you can say that inside the array if you are changing any property, so that is not getting reflected, but if you use track, it will get reflected, right? So we can make use of at the track. We have seen the example of a spread operator also, so we can also make use of a spread operator also, and it will change. So fine, I think we are pretty much clear about at the rate track. Let's discuss about at the rate AP. Another, it is another decorator. So if we want to make any field property or functions public, right? So if you see that this is a name, color, these are the properties, but these are the private properties, right? It can be accessed inside this component only, right? No other component can access this variable. If I place track test inside another component, so that parent component will not be able to access these variables because it is not public. So we can say that it's a private property, and these are reactive properties also, right? Because we already seen that, so the values are getting reflected whenever we are changing in the JS file, it is getting reflected. And to make object and array reactive, we are making use of at the rate track. So these are track, we can say that these are private properties. So to make property public, we use @API decorator. So we can, as we discussed, we can add a decorator with functions also. So let in this example, we'll talk about uh, what we can say that attribute. We see the example using property, right? So if we define field property functions with this decorator, parent component can access it. So there are so many requirements, right? When we do communication using parent to child, child to parent, right? So this decorator becomes very useful. Whenever we want to pass data from parent to child component, we make use of @API decorator. And I can say that you people will be using most of the time this decorator. So public properties are reactive in nature if the value changes component re-renders. Means already we have seen the example. If you are changing, if you change the any value, right, and that variable is binded on the HTML template, the template re-renders. So similarly for public properties also, it's if we it these are we can say that these are reactive in nature, and if the value changes, component re-renders. Component re-renders means the component displays new value. In the simple term, we can say that. So now let's move to the example, and we can understand better. Hmm. API, correct. Okay. So I have created one component named API decorator example, right? Let's come on the JS file. In the JS file, I have created one variable. You can see that this is array, right? Array of object. This variable is taking value of array of object, right? This is one object, this is one object, this is one object, this is one object. Basically, the batch details means this is my detail. For example, we can relate this. This is my detail. Amit Kumar, trainer, age is 34, role is trainer. Anil Kumar, right? Irfan. Not sure about your age, but yeah, I have written just for example. Akshay. So this variable is batch details which stores the information about the trainer and student details, right? Now what I want to do, I want, for example, I want to pass this information to another component. And what another component will do, for example, I am passing this information to you. What you want to do, you want your information only. I am passing all the best details, but what you want to do, you want to check what is your age. For example, I am passing these details to you, means you are the child component, and you want to check in the child component, the information is coming of batch details, and I want to find my name in it. And on the basis of there is a logic, if I find my details, I want to print it on my component. This is the, you can say that this is the scenario. So this is a parent component. In this parent component, I have simple declare one variable with which is taking array of value, means sorry, array of objects. Simple. So in a real-time scenario, what happens? This data will be coming from the some API or Apex or Salesforce, right? Since we have not we have not we will cover this Apex things later. So that's why I am showing example in JS only. But assuming in the coming sessions, all the in the general scenario, in the real time scenario, all the data will come from the either means Salesforce, and Salesforce must be fetching the data from somewhere API. Either the data will be coming from the API or the Salesforce database. So that's it. Now what I have done, I have put one component child one, right? And I will come this at later part, child one. Maybe I can say that the component name is Irfan. Irfan has made this component, and Irfan wants to show his information on this component. His information only on this component. And I want to pass. I have made this component API decorator. I want to pass the batch details information to the Irfan component. As of now, we assume this is child one component. So let's go to the child one component and see. So in child one component, you see there is a one variable batch details. There is another variable my details, and you can see that these all are private variables. I have not added any decorator. So these are private variables. And then there is a one getter and setter method. As you remember, we discussed getter setter. So getter what does getter does? It returns the data. And how we declare getter property? Before any function, we prefix the get keyword. So get my data. What this getter is returning? Return this dot batch details. And what this setter doing? It is assigning whatever the value coming in this property, it will assign the value in this property. This dot batch details equal to val, and where and I want to pass this I want to pass the value from the parent. I will only be able to pass the value from the parent in my data you if I make this getter at the rate API. If I make it public, then I will be only able to pass the data from the parent. If I don't use at the rate API, I cannot pass because these all are private. These are private variables and these are private getter setter. Right? We can use inside this component only, child one. But I want to pass I want to pass data from the parent. So if you see that I am passing data. What data I am passing? Batch details. What is batch details? This variable. This variable value I am passing into my data. What is my data? My data is a getter here. You can see the name, my data. D is capital. See the naming convention. My hyphen data. We already discussed in the, I guess, in the first session. If you want to pass, this is a kebab, right? Kebab case notation. So if we encountered any capital letter, what we do, we just prefix with hyphen and make it small. So if you see the my data, my and D is capital. So what I have done, my hyphen D data. I make the D small and then data, my data. Means batch details information is coming into this property. This means this property, right? So this will run, setter will run here. Means I am setting the property from here. I am setting the value in my data property. Then if I am setting the value in a property, if there is a setter for that property, it will run. Then it will run. So what the setter is doing, whatever value we are passing from the parent, it is assigning into this variable. I am using this dot y because it's a global variable. So we access the global variable using this dot. So this dot batch details equal to value. Whatever you can put here, not val, this is just alias. We use data also. Whatever name you want to give. Generally we give value because we are passing the value to make it more relatable. Understood this? Till now we are clear here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Basically, by this example, you will be also able to understand how we pass data from parent to child. This is very simple in LWC. So by using by getting the example of @ API, we are also encountering key how we can pass data from parent to child with very simple scenario. So I have assigned the whatever value coming from the parent in the this dot batch details, means now the batch details will have all the data coming from the parent. Means what is the data? Array of object, all the data. Now here it is all the data. Now what I am doing, I am calling one function in here. Means you can see that in setter method, I am performing some logic also. As we discussed yesterday, in getter and setter, we can do some validation or transformation also, some operations also. Now you can see that, means I am passing some information to Irfan. Irfan is taking that information and doing some operation. So I am passing, for example, there are in this session, including me, there are three more students. You are three. So I am passing this information to you three people, and you are taking those information and whatever you want to do according to your requirement you want to do. Here the requirement is that you want to find your name in that you can say that in that property, in that array of object, and want to print your name only. This is the requirement. So what you have done, you have made setter for that. You have make use of setter, and in setter you are performing some custom logics. Custom, you can say that custom setter. I have from the parent all the values are coming, and after that, after taking the value, you are performing custom. You can say that custom setter. So here, what in this method, what we are doing, this dot my details. And if you remember the JavaScript session, so basically this is a filter method. So batch details, what is batch details? It's the array of objects. So in this array, it is finding if name equal to Anil Kumar, then this record will come. Means it will return all the you can say that all the objects which have name Anil Kumar. So by seeing this example, it will return this. Means from the list of this object, only one object will be returned here. Got this point? Sorry. Are you able to understand the scenario and all the whatever I have done?
Yes. Yes.
Now I am deploying. So here you can see that here it is printing Anil Kumar 32 and the student. So I have passed all the information, but it is displaying only Anil Kumar information. And on the HTML, what I have done, will look into this. So here I have created my details, and in my details, I am filtering out the my information from that array of objects. So I have assigned my details into the my details variable, and and uh, and I have binded this variable, right? And here I am running the loop. So we will come into the loop part also, but we can see that I have binded my details and I am printing my details, and it's a item a student, right? student name, student dot age, student dot role. Why? This is because the same property, name, age, and role I have given in the name, age, and role. So here we are running iterating on that. You can say that on that record. Understood this part?
Yes, sir.
इरफान अक्षय.
Okay. Sir, clear, clear.
Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask, right? Sorry. Okay. So basically, at the rate API uh, is used to make property public. So in this example, we have seen how we are making the properties public and passing the information from parent to child. And after passing the information, we are making use of custom setter, and custom setter we are performing some logic according to our requirement, whatever the requirement. So here was the simple requirement. So let's if we okay, let me print. So here you can see that here it is displaying all the information, right? All the records. It is not, you can say that it is styling is not proper, but for example, it displayed all the information, the first record, the second record, the third record, the fourth record, the fifth record, and the sixth record. There are six record, and you see that this is a child component here. It is showing the only this student information. So parent is passing all this information, but the child component is filtering out only on one information based on its requirement, right? And how we did it, using make use of at the rate API, right? And because you can say that getter and setter. Understood?
Yes.
Right. So where I will not discuss more, because whenever we come into the session like reading the data from the Salesforce, right? Then Salesforce database, then we will discuss about wire more. But yeah, for introduction purpose, This is also a decorator, and whenever we want to read Salesforce data, right, we make use of wire service, right? And you can say that this wire service use wire adapter or apex method also. And what is wire adapter and what is apex method, we'll discuss when we discuss at the rate wire in more details. As of now, we just understand if you want to read data from the Salesforce database, we make use of at the rate wire. So we will not go into the detail why. So we discussed about three decorators at the rate track at the rate API. We discussed in detail at the rate track at the rate API. And there is another wire we will discuss in detail in coming sessions, right? Now we can we'll take can we have 15 minutes more, right? We can have 15 minutes more. We can complete this also. This is very simple. Can we have, right? Can we, right? Can we do 15 minutes more, right? Can we continue for 15 minutes more, right? Is no issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now we discuss about template looping. So template looping is about ki if you want to show the list of array, right? List array of elements, we use looping, template looping. So in if we just saw this example, we are doing loop. However, there was one record only, so it got printed one record. For example, if there were more than one record, it will also get displayed, right? So if you want to show, if you want to show list of records, for example, there are so many records coming, and we want to display in a tabular format, right? Then we can make use of looping, template looping. So what is template looping? So template looping can be done by two directives. Yesterday we discussed about conditional rendering, in which we talk about if true and if false. Those two directives, uh, the feature of those two directives are we can show hide on the basis of on the basis of some condition. We can show hide HTML on the basis of some condition using if true and if false directives. But using these two directive for each and iterator, we can show list of elements on the HTML. So have you people heard about iterator or not? For each, I think you must have heard. But have you heard about iterator?
No.
Okay, fine. So for each, let's discuss about for each. We have already let me see in the example. So we'll discuss this example only to make this understand. So what is the syntax? I have written the syntax template, right? Template for colon each for each, and it takes the array. It takes the array as input. It will not take any other. You cannot bind here object or simple variable. The value of this property type must be an array, right? Then here I have written. There is a for item. So it holds each item in the array. For item. And we give item, whatever name we can give here. Item, data, whatever you want to. This is a alias. This is a simple, you can say that variable name through which we access each item. So item. So what does it do? It holds each item in the array. For example, item is name, which can be anything here. So here we can put any, we can give any name. For index, it holds the current element index, means whatever the index. For example, there are 4 records. So in first iteration, it will keep it will hold 0. In second iteration, it will give 1, right? Simple array, right? Array has index, right? So list of you can say that list of records has an index. So index will store the current element index. So by making use of index, we can do some logic also. When we see add row, delete row, I think you must have performed in Visual Force page. There we make use of index also. Okay, on which index we are deleting, on which index we are adding, on which index we are doing some, user is inputting the data. So for that purpose, this you can say that this attribute becomes very useful. So these are the three basics attribute you can say that for the template for each directive. So here let's come on the example where we have done the same. Template if true means this will run only if the batch details has data. We write this directive, what this directive template if true means this will run, this template will re-render only if the batch details has some data. So we already discussed about this yesterday, right? Now we are discussing about, let's remove this, let's keep this simple. Now we are discussing about for each directive, which what does it do? It gives the looping features on the template. So for each, this is batch details. This is a array. So let what we do. Let's check. Now I'm assigning this name Amit. Will it give error? We can check. I did not check, but yet check on this runtime. So as I said, cannot take it cannot take variable other than array, right? Let's check. Will it give error? For each name, for item student. Sorry. Let's remove this child component also. Maybe it will be re-rendering for item for each name, and for each name is just okay. Let's see. I'm not sure why it is printing 1, 2, 3. Why it is printing like this? Div API decorator. For item. So it is giving some, we can say that it is giving some, it is not giving error, but it is giving, we can say that some rendering issue it is causing. But yeah, if we see that in name, right, this is a simple variable. So we can also not, let me check key. And why it is 3 times, it is coming 3 times. So why it is printing multiple times 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have to check this, but this is not a valid syntax. Basically, this is not a valid syntax also. But I am not sure why it is rendering this all the li. It should not go here. But if true, if I can make use of some if true, so means this is a valid invalid syntax. I am binding here. I am not binding here array. So that's why it is not giving the correct result. So now I am binding batch details. So yeah, so where here we are discussing about for each will take array element. For item will store each item means each current item and student is the name, right? Whatever name we can put here, student dot name, student dot age, student dot role, right? Whatever, sorry, whatever name we can give, we can give for item, and it will store current element item and it will print a student dot name, student dot age, student dot role. We can also make use of for index if we want, right? Equal to index, right? We can name anything, but yeah, for understanding purpose we keep the values index. So if you print index here, let's see. So here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? There are six elements. That's why index starts from 0 to 5. So this information at the 0th index, this information is on the first index, right? So we can make use of index also, and whatever logic we want to perform, we can make use of index also, right? So for example, there we are dealing with so many, for example, we are dealing with a table. I have a form and there are so many records coming on the each row, right? There are so many row, and I want to perform some logic, unique logic for each row. So how can I identify on which row I am working? So we can make use of index there, right? So there is a keyword also here after this key. So if you do the template, you can say that template looping. So inside that template looping, the first element should have key attribute. It's a must. The first element should have the key attribute also. For example, if I let me remove, what is it? Why it is giving error? Okay, template. I have removed template. Okay. I am removing the key. So inside this template loop, the first element is what? Li. The very first element is the li, and when I put the cursor, it will give error missing key for element inside of iterator. Elements within iterator must have a unique computed key value. So we have to must give key attribute for the first element. Why? It uniquely identifies the record. It can be number or a string. It helps LWC engine to identify which items have been changed, removed, or newly added. Means LWC engines use this key attribute to identify which records are getting changed. So generally, what we do, we bind some unique value here. So here, in this information, you can say that there is no any unique. As of now, we can keep the name attribute here, but there must be. So generally, we perform logic on records, right? So there must be ID, right? Whatever unique unique we can find, we can bind that unique variable in the key attribute. So here I can bind student.name. So key also plays important role inside the for template loop. Similarly, iterator directive does the same. Does the same. But there you can say that the difference is in the syntax, and there are two more attributes, first and last. Let replace this syntax here for each. So now I can write iterator. In the place of I write iterator, colon, iterator name, item, whatever name you can give. What is the item? This thing. This will store each item, right? And here I have binded, we will have to bind the array, right? And I am removing this. Now you can see, and how we can print the value item. Here I have given the item name student, right? Here it is the item, right? Whatever name we can give. So item dot value dot name means in this variable the object have name, age, role property, right? Inside for each we directly access the name, but when we are making use of iterator we have to prefix with value, item dot value dot name. For example, if I give a student here to keep the same item name here, so a student dot value dot name, p iterator example. For each example. So you can see that they both are giving same result. For each example is giving a student name, all the iterator example is giving also the same result. Right here it is index is also getting printed because I have printed index also in the for each example. So the both template looping directive are doing the same thing. But what is the difference? Syntax is that there is a difference of syntax and the way we are accessing the value of the item. And there is one more thing here. There are two special attributes, first and last. Item dot first, item dot last means you can identify which is the first item and which is the last item using this attribute, and you can do some logic. What logic we can do? Mm, let's see. Okay, here it is index. Okay. Let's see. Hmm. If true, a student No. Let's run this example, then we can discuss what I have done. So, okay, I have to hide this. Well, let's ignore the we can say that ignore the styling. So what I try to do on the basis of this attribute, I am making the first value first you can say that first value first record as bold, and rest of the records are not bold. So we can make use of this attribute also. Similarly, we can make use of last also, student dot last. For example, on the for example here, if true, if uh, for example on the last element you want to color it something, right? So we can make use of last also. So how we can do that? Let's see the example also. Means we have to conditionally give the style. We have to conditionally give the style. If so li, then it displayed it, but it should not. Okay, it also get displayed because. So yeah, basically we can make use of first and last property of the iterator and give some special. We can also do using index. So there is no way means we can say that this is easy part, easy attribute by make use of. We can give some extra behavior of first and last element. However, we can also make use of index also, but yeah, that requires some logic to be done. But yeah, by using this attribute directly, we can do some logic directly using this attribute first and last. So what I wanted to show, I on the first I want to make it bold. On the last I wanted to make it whatever I want to make it bold or give some another color. So we can also do that. So I hope you understand the difference between iterator and for each, and what are the features. Basically, these two features are the same. The two directive does the same things. The difference in the syntax, and there are two attributes first and last present in the iterator, which is not present in for each. That's it. I hope so. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I hope we can conclude this session for today, and we can connect in next weekend. And what I will do, I will upload this session, and when I get time, I also upload the track. I also upload the track session also. Whatever we have discussed. So I will upload both the session. So fine. So I think we can disconnect now. Irfan, we can connect separately, right? Now.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Fine, fine. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.